One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Beautiful, just beautiful.
In the whole history of man, all the people on this earth are truly one.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Buckle that harness and adjust those tinfoil hats because we're about to embark on a cosmic journey like no other. This is the Tin Rabbit Podcast, where we dive deep into the mysteries and conspiracies that surround the world of NASA. That's right, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, an organization shrouded in secrets and intrigue. Tonight, we're peeling back the layers of the official narrative to explore the hidden truths and unanswered questions that NASA doesn't want you to know. From the moon landings to Mars missions and everything in between. We're here to challenge the status quo and uncover the extraordinary. Let's start with the moon landing. Was it a giant leap for mankind or a giant leap for Hollywood? Some say the iconic footage of Neil Armstrong's first steps on the moon was filmed on a secret soundstage. Could it have been an elaborate ruse to win the space race against the Soviet Union? We'll dive into the evidence and let you decide. And what about Mars? The red planet has captivated our imaginations for centuries, but could there be more to its barren landscape than meets the eye? Some theorists believe that NASA is hiding evidence of an ancient Martian civilization. We'll examine the curious structures and anomalies captured by the Mars rover and ponder the possibility of a lost Martian society. So Fluffles, get ready for an out-of-this-world adventure as we uncover the secrets of NASA. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and keep those tinfoil hats on tight. This is the Tin Rabbit Podcast, where the truth is always stranger than fiction. Let's dive down that rabbit hole.
Good evening.
What's up, man?
How we doing, Cookies?
Hanging in there, dude. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, better half?
I'm all right.
All right.
Yeah.
Above average?
Average.
We're averaging out
cozy.
here.
So.
What are we doing, Cookies?
All right, man. Tonight we're going to be talking about space. What we know of as space, what we've been taught about space since we were children. We're going to talk about everything that has to do with what we have been led to believe is space travel. So what our conspiracy that we will delve into tonight will be, is NASA the entertainment division of the military industrial complex? We'll find out.
I think we know where I'm leaning. How about you, better half?
No. Maybe a little.
I have been a firm believer that we actually do have rocket technology to get into space. We're just not able to do it in a healthy way.
Yeah, that's kind of, we'll get into that for sure. We might be parking our cars in the same garage on that one. As far as the capabilities that we have, and just the fact that it would be so much easier to spend that money, put that money in their own pockets than to actually spend it on.
It was only like $25 billion or something.
Well,
Only? Oh God, that's cheap, man.
Yeah, right.
Once a year, $25 billion.
I mean, you can make a major blockbuster movie for $300 million, and you could just pocket the rest, right?
It's only half of what we gave Israel, man. It's no big deal. Oh no, not Israel, Ukraine.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Money printer go burr. So
Yeah.
that leaves us with our introductions. And officially, for the record, this is my co-host, Bad Cookies.
What's up, everybody?
This is our concierge, Better Half Hour. And I am Mastermind Hour. And we're going to take you on a little tour this evening. I want to say hi to all the fluffles. I see we got quite a few in here. What do we look at? Ooh, 6. That's quite a few. Well, that's more than I can count on one hand.
There's 7.
That's more than I can count on one hand.
Sure. Give them time.
So is this where I do the disclaimer? Because God knows we can't let people think we're serious.
All right. Well, you good.
Right? I mean, if anybody took it,
man.
right? So I need to take your finger off that so I can actually read it. This program is a fictional portrayal of a couple of knuckleheads who are pretending to be conspiracy experts. This podcast in no way should be considered informational and is for entertainment purposes only.
That was like your radio voice.
That was a radio voice.
That's very nice.
I'm working on it.
So do you want to do your little video there on the...
Well, first we have to tell everybody to hit the like button.
Oh, yeah.
Because we got 7 people in here. We should get at least 7 likes, right?
At least.
And I'll have my mom like it, so we'll get 8. And so
share and subscribe, man. It's the
like,
usual deal.
Right. And this is the part where I give the teaser about next week's episode, which is going to be
this one I'm excited about.
DARPA and nanotechnology, how they keep it from us and how it is used against us. And that's going to be August 28th. Same time, same bat time, same bat channel, same rabbit time, same rabbit channel.
I'm excited about that one, man. I'm real big into nanotech, and I think it's one of the paths to the technological singularity. I don't know if you guys heard that conspiracy theory yet, but go ahead.
Ray Kurzweil?
Yeah.
I've seen his movies or his movie and
What'd you
read
call
into
it,
him a little
Cookie?
bit. The singularity.
Singularity.
Technological singularity. It's a theory where technology will advance so fast that it surpasses human intelligence, and it's projected to be around the year 2032.
Do we become part of the tech in that
No.
theory? Oh, we don't integrate.
See, that's why we should talk about that sometime, because there's 3 different paths that's predicted.
Right.
Either nanotech, we inject nanotech into us and we become nanotech related.
Right.
And you're not going to have a choice. You're really not, because it's going to be like the mental difference between humans and ants. Like, would you want to be down with the ants, or are you going to join the club? Because otherwise the people that have that intelligence are going to look at you like ants and have about the same care for people like that.
You mean the technology is?
Yeah, that's going to be the big. You think the division is red or blue or color, race, religion? No, it's going to be who's got an implant and who doesn't.
Wow. We were just talking about that.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. I would, becoming part of.
So anyway, we'll get back into that a little next week.
We're ready now.
We did the disclaimer. All right, and I was going to talk about the Boeing Starliner and with those guys. All jokes aside, want them to get home. So go ahead. No, you want.
I know.
No, you clicked the wrong one. That's the one you click right there.
I understand.
So for the Starliner.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition. And liftoff of Starliner and Atlas V, carrying 2 American heroes, drawing a line to the stars for all of us.
Commander Butch Wilmer, they're calling down to Mission Control here in Houston that the spacecraft has begun rolling into the right attitude for its ascent, and the guidance, navigation, and control officer here in the room seeing good data on that.
Wang, why aren't you paying attention in class?
That looks like $25 billion to me.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, and even if NASA's monsters, they're still manned by human beings. So let's hope they get home safe. Right?
Mhm.
Dude, that
And-
spaceship reminded me of that scene in fucking Austin Powers where they're coming up with different names for the spaceship.
Well,
It's-
it was
Like
it was
what? What were some of them? Do you remember?
It was like, God damn it! It was like Major Johnson was one of them. They're calling balls at a baseball game. Just watch it. You can look it up on YouTube.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Speak.
Mike Myers. Yeah.
Oh,
that's- all of his outtakes are usually the funniest parts of the movie.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yep.
so we're talking about NASA and what they've been getting away with for 50 years, and we'll see if we can't catch them in a few slip-ups here. What was your take on your research this week, Cookie? Did you learn anything that you didn't know, or did you just reaffirm what you already knew?
No, I learned a few things that I thought I knew, and then I found out that it was fake information, fake news, if you will.
Right. Right.
What?
So, like, I was always told that we had lost the technology to go to space. You know, there's always the misquotes of NASA personnel saying, "Oh, we've lost the technology and we can't return to space." What I ended up learning is that it's not so much that we lost the technology to return to space; we lost the tools necessary to build the space shuttles that would get us to the moon there.
Right. They would have to retool, and they've lost all of their parts suppliers have either, retooled to make bombs for Lockheed or, they just got shipped overseas.
Yep.
So,
or make faulty what is that, hull breaches for a Boeing plane?
Right. Yeah. You want Boeing making those parts for the space shuttle? I don't think that's going to be wise. We've seen what they're doing so far with their track record. It's not great.
Right on, man. Well, that's what I found out with the research that I did was that they actually do technically still have the technology. They just have to refabricate everything, and it would be very expensive. I'm sure they would find a way to do it if they needed to launder money. Oops, this wrench costs $6 billion to create.
Right. The $50,000 hammers, or what was it? The toilet seats. Whatever. It was whatever. That was the meme before there was memes. They had their little talking points about government waste like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
That's why they started double-sided copying everything.
Well, they
Save
still do it a
money.
lot today.
right.
I mean, look at the military, man. The military's big money laundering fucking scheme.
Well,
Screws.
absolutely.
You know how many screws they go through in the military to, upkeep their vehicles and their tanks and all that shit, dude? All the car
Medicals.
parts. Yeah.
Just
All
all
that
of it.
stuff.
Yeah.
Billions.
But they'll leave it behind if it seems like they're going to miss an evacuation deadline by 3 or 4 days. They'll just leave that tank in the desert. So, it's not their money, right?
Right? Yeah. But yeah, man, other than that, I learned that the Van Allen belt, it's there, it's persistent, and I feel like we're being lied to about it. That's what I ended up learning, man. I feel the Van Allen belt is being downplayed by NASA, basically, because a lot of the information that comes about the Van Allen belt comes from NASA. So I feel like they're.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but just back up for a second. So why is the Van Allen belt important? Like with NASA, regarding NASA, so you guys are saying that the military industrial complex, NASA's a front for the MIL,
See.
not my mother-in-law, military industrial complex.
There you go.
MIC.
And MIC.
KEY.
MOUSC.
Woo.
No, we're not affiliated with Disney or anything of that nature.
Oh no, he's out of copyright anyway. We can say Mickey Mouse all day. No shit, Steamboat
No,
Willie.
you can't.
Yeah, right. We could do Steamboat Willie cartoons though.
No, don't do that to Mickey Mouse, please. Just kidding. Well,
Stop saying that name.
Oh, why? Really? We could get in trouble for saying that?
Sure,
Even?
I don't know.
No.
But it doesn't help.
Okay. I won't say it anymore.
If you use the word Disney on a show that has a conspiracy theme to it, probably.
You would show his head.
Yeah, right.
I remember that one in the 80s. I really believe that, man. Cryogenic freezing. Didn't he go to space too? Disney went to space.
What?
Walt Disney, there was a conspiracy
No,
theory
you're thinking of the movie Space Jam.
90s.
That was Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny.
No.
That's Warner Brothers. That's not Disney.
That's what I was saying.
Oh.
Whatever. So big picture, Van Allen belt. Why, what is that pertaining to you convincing someone or me even that NASA's a front for the military? Like, how is that? How's that roll?
All right. So the Van Allen belt needs to be downplayed so they can continue to project the idea that they can do space travel. As long as they can project the idea that you can do space travel, you can convince the public to fund that space travel. That's where NASA comes into play, because most of their funding comes from the ability to sell to the people that you can do space travel. Now, how that works for the MIC is, as long as they have the quote unquote space travel missions and scientific departments, they can work on better jet engines, better missile controls, better, like they'll call it aircraft controls, but it'll be missile controls. You know, they'll have the money to fund all this technology and warfare, and they'll sell it all in the guise of space travel. When in reality, like I say, they're downplaying the Van Allen belt, because if they tell people the truth about the Van Allen belt, they will start to see that, well, maybe we didn't actually land on Mars. Maybe we didn't land on the moon. You can send like little
What is
cars.
the truth about the Van Allen belt? You mean like that you can die traveling through it, or what,
Yes.
what do you mean?
Yeah, it's just our shield from all the cosmic radiation that the sun's puking at us all day, every day. And if
Protons and electrons.
if it wasn't for the Van Allen belt, the magnetic belt that protects us, you know, this Earth would look a lot like the moon, right?
The Van Allen belt actually helps our atmosphere. If people don't know, our atmosphere has 5 different layers, and the outermost layer is called the exosphere. That's where all of that action takes place, and the Van Allen belt is out in that area. What it does is it protects any form of like large major radiation to start penetrating through to the planet. If we didn't have the Van Allen belt and that exosphere, we would be bombarded with solar radiation and we'd all go crispy. We'd all die.
Right.
It's awesome.
Well, and I think that was probably one of the first things that set off my BS detector is when they were talking about, you know, to actually be able to shield a craft, you would have to have like 6 feet of water, or the lead equivalency of that density. But you would have to have huge amounts of shielding to protect yourself once you got outside that Van Allen belt, and even more so when you're in it. And NASA would say how they picked a trajectory that got them through that Van Allen belt as quickly as possible. And
well, a lot of the research I
still
did,
an hour.
What?
a lot of the research I did recently too showed that they inform the public. So the story that they have is that the panels that they have on the space shuttle actually reflect all of that radiation. That's how they're able to perform their space shuttle missions and shit like that.
Well,
Again, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not a fucking rocket scientist, but it's the story they sell us.
right. But even then, they got onto the moon and they jumped out in their suits. And I know they're, you know, space hazmat suits. But if you're in a place where the moon has no protection like that, so they're getting straight on X-rays from the sun.
Yep.
From the moment they step out of that capsule.
They for sure deal with a lot of gamma radiation.
I was
gamma
reading
radiation
a lot
is exposed out there.
about aluminum and stuff, and how different polymers were protecting them. And I mean, of course, I was like up NASA's butt this whole episode and really got lost in their surface journals. I encourage anyone. I mean, I could try. I'll link the surface journals.
Link in
are
the
really cool.
description.
That's where Mastermind got a lot of his photos and stuff. But one of the viewers was talking talking about, I don't know if it sounds like a good conspiracy theory. We could check it, but I wonder if the
Right.
person who,
Von Braun.
if really they were friends with Walt Disney. That's funny.
well,
I'm sure I'm being trolled, but that was cool.
I think that might be a Nazi joke, but I really don't see that it couldn't be possible. Actually,
Well, I don't know.
I don't see that
Yeah.
out of the realm of possibility. I'm trying to
Right?
think of the date. The dates line up. So what the hell?
So I didn't mean to interrupt you guys, but I was just, there's another thing that when you're talking about the time, that's what NASA was saying. The quote here on the bottom.
You want me to read it?
You guys, yeah.
These belts have long been known as bad news for satellites and astronauts, with potentially deadly consequences if you spend too much time within them. That's from NASA.gov.
Right. So one of the counters, and I'm sorry if I wasn't
That's my
fully,
NPR voice.
It is. It's really
fresh
good.
air. This is fresh air.
Is that they only spent like 63.8 minutes in it. Right.
An hour. When you're at a doctor, when you're at the dentist office,
Right.
you get like a 4-second shot of an X-ray, and that's bad enough that the dental assistant's going to run behind a 6-foot thick wall before they even think about pushing the button.
Right.
So if you're cooking in that if you're sitting in that dentist chair for an hour and they're bombarding every
Particle.
inch of your
Yeah.
body, and you know,
You're gonna get
That's why
superpowers,
When
man.
you get
Right?
thyroid covers now, by the way, people, if you go to your dentist, anytime you get an X-ray, they have to have that now. I used to have to request them, thyroid protection, but just FYI, when you go to get X-ray,
Thyroid's a terrible
always,
thing to
especially
waste.
if you get them a couple times a year or whatever, just get
You
your little
missed the
thyroid.
joke.
she always
Oh.
does.
Because say it again.
I said a thyroid's a terrible thing to waste.
Oh,
You missed it. You ruined the timing.
After 20 years, she's heard them all already.
so you guys are talking about just that they would be dead if they even did that, or
Well,
I mean, I'm sorry, I missed what. I was
Okay.
just
What up?
taking you back. Sorry.
Do you trying to have me give away the ending, and
Oh, the
we're
Van
only
Allen
20
belt?
minutes in, but
They all died.
okay. Good night, folks.
Sorry.
No, and that's the other thing too.
Well.
Talking about NASA, I was going to get into the Columbia stuff, and there's a lot of there's theories about that being faked and those people still walking around, but those are actual, we're talking about fatalities, and I don't want to get Alex Jones or anything, and those people actually do have families. So I'm just not going to touch any of that stuff. But if you're interested, that stuff's out there. It seems like there's a lot of coincidences that make that seem a little hinky, and Reagan's just the kind of guy that would pull some crap like that. So I don't know. That's
Reagan?
the end of my Columbia coverage.
I remember I sent you a C-SPAN video and your comment about Reagan and the Challenger, right? Is that what you were just saying?
Yeah. I'm
And
not.
I missed it.
Yeah, you should watch the show sometime. You would learn something about NASA if you watch it.
No, I mean, like, were you talking about how he was doing the speech, avoiding?
Oh yeah, because they
See?
kept postponing the Challenger launch until it was a night where in Florida that it got to like 3 below. Like it ever gets to 3 below in Florida, so they kept
And they had to
postponing it,
wait.
and it was so. And he wanted to be able to talk to the teacher in space on the phone during his State of the Union address, and he. There was something in that State of the Union address that they were avoiding. I know that rabbit hole got
What
kind
are
of
you doing,
twisty at
Cookie?
the end, but
Stop.
I don't think that Reagan blew up the Challenger shuttle just to get out of giving a State of the Union speech. I think that Occam's razors. There's other. He could have said his dog ate his homework. It'd be easier than blowing up the shuttle. But I mean, they did. It was the one time that they had every kid in every high school watching the TV all at once. And if you want to talk about MK Ultra and doing some sort of mind control where you shock an entire nation at one time, that hasn't happened since 1963. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Since
okay?
Kennedy was shot.
Yes.
But
So I'll leave it at that.
But they showed that in the classroom after he was shot, not while he was
No,
shot.
I'm talking about the Challenger shuttle.
Right.
I mean, the
understand.
whole country went into shock when Kennedy was shot.
Yeah.
And when everybody sees
It's called an epoch event. When something like
Epic,
us
yeah.
landing on the moon,
right.
it changes like our societal views. And when you're trying to convince people to give more money to a program, why would you want to make that program look like a POS that can't handle safety regulations? You know what I mean? Like that doesn't make sense to me.
That's when NASA started getting out of the rocket building business and started getting into the computer building business. That's when they put all their R&D into AI as opposed to how to make a better rocket.
Do you guys see those studies? Did you check out the studies in space for the bio stuff? Cookie, did you look at that at all?
No,
I thought you were setting us up for a punchline.
No,
I was too.
I was like,
Damn it.
This one's good. Go ahead. I'm setting you up. No, go on. What was it?
Say. How hot was it?
Talk about it because it related. I didn't even research it a lot, but it was about little nanotech that they're doing in space for cancer.
Oh.
Remember?
Oh yeah, the nanoskin thing.
Yeah.
They're little chips that produce cells, and they help study chemotherapy in space, because you guys are talking about the Van Allen belt.
Yeah.
And how it can cause radiation. And so that is a big concern for NASA. It's not like they don't think about it. There's study they have. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, in a for-profit healthcare system, shooting somebody into space to give them cancer treatment seems like a pretty reasonable thing to do.
Well, if they're traveling that long, right? Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm going to go super deep down the rabbit hole here. And this is my own made-up conspiracy theory. But I think they just want to inject Walt Disney with massive radiation so they can save him from his multiple cancers and then just cure him back to life so he can come back to life out of that ice chamber he's in.
Well, that's what I was thinking. That
he is in space. See, he is in space. I told you, chamber. Everybody.
No, I was. That's what I was thinking. That not Elon Musk, the other one. That who's Jeff Bezos.
Oh, that idiot.
The other one.
He was just
only two.
He was just built right. The other asshole. He's putting his rocket. He's trying to get a rocket that can get up close to the speed of light, so he can get Disney up there and bring him back. As a young man.
I wanted to bring up Jacqueline's quote. Yes, Jacqueline, you are accurate. That Mastermind had that on his phone for months, waiting for this show.
Yes,
he was our little.
It's been my wallpaper for at least a month.
That was really cute.
It's
I want to go to like a Build-A-Bear and make that exact rabbit.
He's doing the voice. Do it again.
Do the quick.
It's fluffy.
It is fluffy. All right, let's put us back on focus because here's the big one too. Okay, so after you go past the Van Allen belt, you made it, right? You didn't die,
right? Okay, well maybe,
or you got cancer through it,
right?
And then you're trying to land on the moon. I think you have quite a bit about like once, or Cookie, do you still want to talk about radiation and Van Allen? I didn't mean to push us past that part.
No.
It takes you a full hour to get through the Van Allen belt.
63 minutes.
Literally, it takes you over an hour.
63.8.
Of sitting in that microwave oven. If you imagine taking a raw chicken leg and you put it in your microwave oven and you set it to an hour.
You think that's the same wavelength?
I'm thinking that's a wavelength. That's not one of the multiple wavelengths that you're experiencing. You're getting all the wavelengths. Everything from visual to
So you don't think the stuff that they have on the outside of the ships helps, like aluminum and polymers?
I think it helps only to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing as like wrapping your microwave in aluminum and thinking that's safe. It's a known thing that standing near microwaves will fuck you up. I think the same thing happens with space shuttle stuff.
Sorry,
I cannot hear you.
Sorry,
I can't hear you. Can you guys hear me?
I hear you just fine. Are we out?
All right. I'm not sure if it's my audio or not.
My mic sounds nice. Check 1. My mic sounds nice. Check 2. Oh, sorry, Cookies.
Oh, it's my audio. You guys go on. I'll see if I can fix it.
Okay.
So we are.
Well, we got some comments that were really cute too. That
cool. Let's do that.
I don't know what I don't know why he asked.
Are
if
we
we're-
in a prison
It's
planet?
kind of out of. Hold on.
Yeah,
wait,
Nick.
wait.
No,
Let's hide that one. Hold on.
What?
Oh,
No, that was a good one. I
this
want to
one.
talk about reincarnation
is the
and
moon
shit.
hollow? We haven't landed on the moon yet. Wait. We
Hollow
haven't
moon.
landed
That's
on the
good.
moon.
We had to divide
Oh.
NASA and the fake moon
Yay,
landing
Miss Cookie.
and the hollow moon, because hollow moon's gonna be a whole nother episode.
Johnny said that his mom thought it was fake.
I saw the moon landing, fake or not, with Mom. He was 7. Yeah, I was still in vitro. No, so I was still in the womb. I was born in December, and this happened in July.
Mm-hmm.
So, and was that all
We
of them?
still lost Cookie. Device is not connected. Look.
Oh, he's gone. When he's gone,
They
he's
will
gone.
need to connect their mic cam before you can add
He
them.
just lost his camera too. You don't have to.
Wow.
This is a live stream.
I understand.
You don't have to read the stream.
Oh, he was talking about microwaves. And I was just going to say soft tissue, and then he got cut off.
Right.
It's hot.
Yeah, no, Jacqueline. Yeah, you can tell.
Why don't you
Jacqueline
talk about the moon and show your
is-
pictures?
Is English, because Americans don't have the kind of patience or attention span to walk away from the microwave. They have to watch it go around in a circle, counting down in their heads until it dings.
You want to land on the moon? And
Again?
show your video. Where's your slides?
Oh, right here.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, we can. Let's do our slideshow
Yeah.
while we're waiting for cookies. Do you want to be in the middle of the slideshow, or you want to be on the
Let's
side?
see, and I'll look if he's talking on the chat.
Oh, except we already went to slide 10. Oh, he gave the ending away. So I'm just going to buzz through these real quick.
Why are you bringing up these pictures? Is it
I'm
because
I've-
that's part of the conspiracy theory that
with the photographic evidence that NASA, and even if NASA likes to do their photoshoppery with some of their photos, and there he is. Just in
Mic
time.
check. Can you hear me?
You sound
Yeah.
awesome.
There we go. All right. Yeah, some fuckery's going on here, man. All right.
Right.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, NASA has their own division at the CIA, I think.
That explains that van in my fucking
'Cause we're-
driveway.
talking about the microwaves.
Right.
Oh, right.
And I was just that was the one with the
So-
stars.
But wait, before you do this, since he's
Yeah.
back, do you want to say anything more about radiation or the Van Allen belt? Because
No, we can get going past that. I think we beat that horse dead,
okay,
and Chank's ready to fuck it.
It's cooked. That horse
Okay.
has been microwaved and cooked.
yeah, all
Yep.
right. So we're gonna go blast past the Van Allen belt,
To the
and
moon.
now the astronauts, are landing on the moon.
All right.
And we have a quote here from Walter Cronkite that Cookie found. Do you want to read it really quick, Cookie?
Oh,
And then I'll take it off so we can look at your.
It's got to start over.
Oh, does it?
Oh, here we
Oh,
go.
where are we?
Here-
I had as much time to prepare for that moon landing as NASA did, and I still was speechless when it happened. It just was so awe-inspiring to actually be able to see the thing through the television. That was a miracle in itself. Walter
Well,
Cronkite.
a miracle of cameras and yeah.
Well, see
Right.
that the reason I wanted this quote, or I brought this quote, was because I wanted to emphasize how we were sold a story about NASA. Again, my whole emphasis of this is that NASA is not actually going into space. They're just selling us the idea that they're going into space. So that comment right there shows that A, the media was helping promote the idea that we landed on the moon, and B, that we have the technology and ability to go to the moon. Therefore, we should continue funding this department of government so we can still continue to launder money through it.
Can I ask a
Right.
question? How much do we spend on the MIC every year?
Oh,
If you have an idea.
No, because they keep bombing the Pentagon, so we can't find the records.
Seriously though, like how much do you kind of think maybe?
It was 6
Was
trillion,
it
right?
9/11?
Was it? Yeah, was it
Okay.
6 trillion the last audit that they missed?
Wow. So why this is small beans?
Right. Yeah.
It's
Well,
I think it's
but
the
this-
tech.
But
part
this
of
is
it that
we're talking
scares me.
1970s dollars, not
Oh.
2024 dollars. And
Yeah.
and they've been ramping that number. The military industrial complex has only increases their budget by 30% every year. Or every time it comes up, they get more money than they got
Right.
last time.
It's a way for like camaraderie. Okay, sorry. I was just asking too. Thank you for answering my question. I was just curious.
Yeah, I forgot where we were at.
We're going to land on the moon.
I was going to make the comment. It would be like finding out that Survivor was shot in a lot in Encino, California, instead of it, right? Instead of being on.
But they kind of
Bali
script it too.
Yeah, it's all scripted.
All hell, Jeff. Ooh.
So, and that was when talking about talking about the Van Allen belt. That was always kind of my thought is, they say how can 400,000 people, whatever number they said was working for NASA at the time, if it was a huge conspiracy, how could they keep it secret for that long? And I think the answer is pretty simple, that they did send a rocket to the moon. Now, how many people would be involved in a conspiracy where it wasn't what they said? It would be about 10. You would need the three, Buzz Aldrin and what? Am I
I'm
going
reading
crazy?
Comments. No,
I
so
thought
sorry.
I thought you were laughing at me. I was like, no, this isn't the joke part.
I'm laughing at people's comments. I'm sorry.
So, Armstrong, Aldrin, and Collins. And then you need the three stunt doubles like you would use for any movie. If you got a dangerous part, you don't put your stars up there. You put the stunt doubles. So there's 6 people. And then maybe 4 of the higher ups that were actually pulling the strings and said, we're going to, and then everything else is, high military classified. So that ain't never coming out. I don't care. When you get that deep in, there's no such thing as a deathbed confession. So yeah, if you got 10 guys, you could do a quick swap on the way to the rocket where, you put 3 Joe Schmoes in there and they fly. Maybe they even do walk on the moon, which, we're going to get to some slides that make me think that it's a little iffy, but because the fact that Buzz Aldrin's still alive and it doesn't, have a third arm, and all those guys didn't die with, in the early 70s from radiation poisoning, makes me think that their stunt doubles did. So even if we did walk on the moon, I'm betting my bottom dollar it wasn't Buzz.
Oh,
sorry, Buzz. You can come punch me out too.
He's too old now, man. He's geriatric as fuck.
Did you see? He was old as fuck when he punched that guy out.
Beep, beep,
sorry.
beep. Beep, 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 beep,
right.
beep, beep.
Sorry. He was, yeah.
That was like
there was that guy that kept running around asking him to swear on the Bible that he walked on the moon, and he wouldn't answer him, and he eventually punched him out. So I guess he got his answer.
Yes. I knew that was going to come up. Okay, go ahead. Do your slides.
What come up?
Nothing. Keep going.
Keep going.
Oh, me being old?
We're running out of time.
Oh.
Are we? We're only at 40 minutes.
Okay. So did you want me
to go next?
I was just going to run through these real quick. These are pretty.
Oh wait, did you have something to say about that?
Just this one's talking about there's no stars in the sky when you're shooting the moon, but that one's pretty. What? That's why I'm saying this.
Any photographer knows the answer.
You have to shut the aperture down. I know, because the moon is basically one giant white ball, but. There's another one where it's coming off the back that I think he's too well at. Next slide. Oh, please.
Hold on, I'm so sorry. No, I got it.
You sure?
Yep. The dog is doing something really bad. Okay.
So this is the one, Buzz. What was this one about? This was the one. Oh, I can't remember what this problem with this one was.
The flag.
Oh, yeah. The flag and this one, they start talking about how the shadows don't line up, but I don't think that was
I thought that was the wave of the flag, though.
Right, how well it's lit, but this one was the one. This is the one where it was the supposed to be a sun flare off of it, but it would be on the wrong side.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just want to get through these slides really quick.
Okay.
And this is the one they use the Hasselblad cameras, and you can see that they have like little X's in them. That's actually in the camera glass, so they can set it up. And if you can drop your hand, please. We'll have to go to this one, because if you look over at the flag, you can see that where there should be an X, the flag was put over it. And so that makes that one really suspect.
Dude, if you look at the top left of it on the hill over
I'll
there,
go back.
Yeah.
right there on the top left hill, you can see him. It's John Cena right there.
Where? No, I'm just joking. Oh, next. Okay. Look at
so
how
this
cute
is the
he
one
is.
where, yes, and he's on the backside. He's in complete shadow. And they were, talking about how well he's lit, and you're actually getting reflections off the tinfoil on the lander there, which suggests a second or at least a fill light behind him. I'm not sure how much I go with these, but okay.
What is that?
We're saving that for later. That's
okay.
Mars. Okay, we can go back to that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
We'll save the Mars stuff.
Okay.
We have
Mars.
We're still on fake moon landing, but that's all I had.
Okay, so you're on the moon, and I've been dying to ask this question because we're gonna do a show and.
You okay, buddy?
Yeah, I just kicked the corner of my desk.
Sounded like it.
Carry on.
Sounded like you lost your plate and fork when you did it.
Oh.
No, man, it's whatever. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
What were you on?
Is the
Dr.
moon?
Nick.
Okay, so we were going to do a show on the Earth, and we're going to talk about, is it flat, is it hollow, something about Antarctica, but then Dr. Nick asked, is the moon hollow?
Yes.
Did you come across any of that?
Oh yeah, that's the whole
kind of with NASA. We decided not to focus. We're going to do a whole show on the moon too.
Yeah, we're already 42 minutes in, and we haven't even gotten halfway through this. So yeah, we're going to make
yes or no, Mastermind.
Hollow Moon's going to be Hollow Moon, and the fact that all of the craters on the moon are the same depth, no matter how big the crater is, which implies that the crust of the moon is not very deep.
They also did talk about with radiation and the hills ducking.
The hills are nice.
On the moon?
Yeah.
Oh, try to hide behind a rock from radiation?
Yeah. If they hang out in the valleys,
yeah,
they don't get radiation as much when they're traveling on the moon. Here's when we missed Cookie and Mastermind. We didn't talk about the space race, did we? A lot of why that would be important politically to get more funding for stuff?
Well, that's what we were just finishing up the fake moon. Now we got to talk about why they were highly motivated to, after they realized that you can literally cook a turkey in the radiation going through the Van Allen belt, that they were going to have to come up with some way, because Kennedy said he wanted to get to the moon, and he wanted to get back, he wanted to get back safely, and he wanted to do it before the end of the decade. And that deadline is what pushed them into turning to Stanley Kubrick for an alternative on how to make it appear that they were on the moon. And
they said Stanley Kubrick, the dude who did Clockwork Orange.
The Shining. That's why Danny in The Shining, he has a little Apollo 11 rocket sweater when he's in the hallway. When the twins come out, when the twins come out.
He did that?
Yeah, of course he did.
I love you forever, Mastermind, and ever and ever.
No, but Danny had the little Apollo rocket. That's all I
Dr.
knew.
Nick says, if the Russians were first in space, how come they didn't make it to the moon? What happened?
Anybody can put a lander on the moon. We can put landers on Mars, but they orbit the space inside the Van Allen belt. As soon as you go outside, you're not. Even if you come back, it's not going to be for very long.
I don't know if you guys remember, but we got a show dedicated just about moon conspiracies coming up in a few weeks.
Yeah, because here's another one. It's easier to fake the moon landing than do it.
Right.
Oh, we were going to talk about aliens, the dark side of the moon. You're right. All these people are just, look at this guy's name, though. I'm sorry. The ghost of Henry Kissinger.
That's Kitty.
That's adorable.
Kitty has the greatest troll names.
Yeah. Boyfriend?
Cowboy Kitty.
Oh, okay. We already talked about how cute Cookie looks this evening.
You're repeating these.
Yeah.
Let's see. I need a Faraday box for my phone at night.
Yeah, we were talking about. So John was saying he needs a Faraday box for his phone at night.
Yeah, John, we're going to do a dirty energy episode too about why they have an outlet in every wall of your house so they can make an electrical cage. We'll get to that.
Jacqueline was talking about the microwave, don't stand in front of it. And then there was a whole debate of why you would stand in front of it, because John says you have to watch the popcorn bag.
Right. After it gets
And then
full.
somebody else said, no, we have to make sure the Hot Pocket doesn't explode.
Right.
I have one word of advice too. Don't microwave, the really thin plastics that you get like in your Hot Pockets and especially males before they have
take
children.
the burrito wrapper off and wrap it in a paper towel. Don't just open up the end and then cook it in the plastic.
If you've already had kids, don't worry about it, because it's basically
you're done.
but it's mostly males.
Family jewels are useless now. You can eat whatever you want.
That was BPAs when BPA started, like the microwaves would. And if they're eating it over and over, you're getting same as factory level dudes. So anyway, this I didn't from you want to read
Michael?
a cookie?
I'll read it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
So this is from Nihilo Nostrum. He's a buddy of ours, good guy there. He says, I will never understand how people can despise the U.S. government, but then have complete faith that NASA tells the truth.
Right.
I mean, that's very accurate.
Right. They're completely different somehow, I guess.
I could maybe kind of answer you. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like
Go for it.
I don't
Take a shot.
despise the government. I'm mad at them. I'm really, really angry because they keep saying, the EPA, at least from an environmental perspective and educational perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But with space, I do have distrust of NASA or any government agency because they don't follow OSHA. How come EPA can go and audit NASA and say, oh, look at all these chemicals you're putting into the groundwater, the perchlorate from our water show is attributed a lot to NASA. It's the fireworks, it's the rocket fuel, it's all that crap. Anyway.
Interesting part about that I found in my research is that
Yeah.
NASA actually has their own department for, what do you call it? For regulation. So if the EPA,
they watch themselves.
Yes, they watch themselves. I can bring that up if you want. It's they have an actual division for that. So
well, we all do internal auditing, but yeah, you mean for environmental health and safety? They have
for
their own-
everything, for literally everything. You cannot audit them.
nice.
They audit themselves.
Oh, okay.
So if the EPA came to NASA and said, "Hey, we'd like to audit you for all the fuel exhaust and everything that you're doing environmentally, we'd like to audit you," they'll say, "Sure, give your ideas to our department, and our department will research it and give you that evidence."
Yeah, live long and prosper.
Well, and I feel like NASA's telling the truth because they did contract with, environmental justice again. People who grow up in poverty, which is what I did. I grew up around a chemical plant that NASA contracted with. Even the contractors don't have to follow OSHA regulations or, but if they start dumping in the groundwater, EPA, we know some of it. We know these things. It's right in front of our faces. We don't even have to say the moon's hollow to be pissed off. Anyway, okay.
I don't think the government had anything to do with making the moon hollow. I think the moon was hollow long before they were there.
I heard that one. Okay. Ooh, Frank Zappa.
Gregory's gets the trophy. Yes, I was borrowing from Frank for the show title. Good catch.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, it's a famous Zappa quote.
Oh,
yeah.
I was more of a
Zappa was based as, back then, he was as based. He probably would have been the definition of based, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a Zappa fan.
When you said he was a bassist, I thought you meant he played the bass.
Right.
I thought he was a singer, man.
He plays a hell of a guitar, dude. No, don't short him there. He was a very great musician.
And I'm kind of scared to show the next one because if we disprove NASA, then when we do the climate is a myth. Because there's
we're
a lot
not
of data.
disproving NASA. We're just sharing our ideas.
Right.
Okay. Trying
this
to
is
disprove
Michael
them,
talking to Jacqueline saying,
Mike,
it's amazing how much our understanding of the climate crisis is dependent on their numbers.
NASA.
Yes.
Yeah.
Them in the EU. They don't want to work with China.
Okay, let's move on. The moon's made out of cheese.
Yay.
Yay.
Luna fromage.
Cheese, grab it.
That's it. Oh, wait, we got 40 more comments. You guys keep talking.
Okay. So we were going to talk a little bit about the space race. Did we cover that? About how the only reason that we did it was because we couldn't take another L to the Soviets because that would mean that the United States was technically inferior.
Mhm.
And so we just needed a good story, and we came up with, if there's one thing we're good at, and it's not building rockets, it's building a story. So
Yeah, man, it was a good mind job for that era too, because when we think of the context of what was going on at that time, there was a lot of nuclear scare. People were thinking we were going to get nuked any day. There was war going on everywhere. And the idea of traveling to space launched so many perspectives into the idea that we can expand in space and just go on to the great beyond, that people were already trying to escape the Earth that we were on, that was full of conflict and fear, because at that time it was a lot of fear going on. The same type of fear that they're trying to promote now, but now people are a little more cognizant of it. At least you would hope. You know, we're marching into World War III, and then people are still doing the stupid things they're doing.
Yeah, and even back then, everybody wanted to live in the big glass bubble and have Rosie the maid, and have a talking dog.
Well, that's what.
Well,
that's literally what launched a lot of those ideas, man, was the space launch. It was like the first time where all of those dreams about going into space actually started coming true for people. Yeah. I mean, that's why it doesn't have that same poignant atmosphere as it did back then. Because today, people don't even give a shit about going to space. They're like, I got to pay my rent and pay my food, man. I got things to do.
Right. And I think that, because their funding had been going down before the Challenger stuff, and I think that was just a way to kind of bow out and shift gears really quickly without having to, because they were going to have to. They knew that those O-rings were bad and it was a bad design, so they were going to have to redesign those entire rocket, the secondary rocket boosters, and like I said, they can't retool things. If we could turn around and retool things, we could get back to the moon. Which obviously we can't.
Quote unquote, yeah.
Back.
Yeah. That's why I also wanted to touch a bit on Mars. I know we're not talking about Mars this episode, but
I have a couple points because it's NASA, fake NASA. NASA's
go for it, dude.
Well, if you want to pull up, that's what we go back to the slideshow, because we were talking about all the next one, about how NASA likes to play with Photoshop. And if you look on the left there, that's the familiar face that sparked all the controversy, the face on Mars. So after a huge public outcry and email campaign or whatever it was, they got NASA to go and shoot it again at high resolution. And this is what I rotated it so it was on the same plane. NASA went out of their way to make sure it was cockeyed from the original picture and upside down. They're trying to say that this is what you were looking at, but I think it looks, if you go to the next one, it looks even more like a human face. If you flip it upside down,
oh my god,
it looks like a great cameo, right?
So is it like a Egyptian thing they're saying, like a ancient alien?
That thing is like a mile long. It's like it's
not like really a person's face, and they're like, oh, look,
it's like Mount Rushmore on steroids. Yeah. It's like a mountain.
Like it
Rushmore.
fell over.
Oh yeah, if that was a statue,
there's a disease, or not a disease. There's a thing, right? Psychologically, when you see faces and stuff because of tigers.
Yeah. Where you pull faces out of stuff. Go ahead and hit the next slide. DNA. But so they were trying to make it look sloppy, but even when they, the more that they pulled out definition, the more the face came out. That one's kind of iffy. Go ahead and hit the next one.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I know you're playing.
I'm playing. Starring comments.
And then this is one of my favorites. This was one that they posted from NASA. NASA's famous for taking a Photoshop and just doing a total orange hue over it because they don't want to show blue sky, because they would have to do a lot more explaining. But this one, if you look in the circle there, that's a rodent.
Gopher. Yeah.
Yes, it's specific to like this Canadian island. And NASA was trying to play this off as being an actual Mars photo. So they are not above line by any stretch of the imagination, even when they get caught red-handed.
Where did you find a lot of these photos? From the NASA
Internet. I got
surface
one more.
journals?
Not that one.
Oh,
So this one, real quick,
well, some of them.
if you look
did.
at the middle, not quite the top's the cliff, but then there's the face. That's the face on Mars. And they're saying, well, if even it could just be anomalous, a natural occurrence, but within, walking distance or moonwalking or Mars walking, you have the city, all these different complexes, city square, and you look down that D&M period. I don't know if you have seen the Mars one, but it's like a 5-sided pyramid. And even from here, it looks like a perfect starfish. And there's all these different anomalous structures all in this one area. And NASA refuses to go back and, they want NASA to land right there next to the face and get out and walk around, and they won't do it. So I think that, so you can take that off.
Okay.
Perfect.
Well, dude, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of the photos that we get from space aren't even in color. It's all radiation pictures. That's how we get them back. So all of the pictures that we actually see that NASA says, oh, look, this is what this looks like, they don't actually even know what it actually looks like. It's a picture of a bunch of dots.
Well, they can.
Well, and actually, it's ones and zeros. They're just measuring radiation and then assigning a color to it.
Yes.
That's kind of like the Better Half Hour showed me the song of
Nebula.
Space?
Nebula.
Yeah.
But so they just assign a tone to different wavelengths, so it makes this weird noise.
It sounded like wind chimes. Yeah, I remember those videos. Those
wind chimes and well.
That's a good point, because we were talking about aluminum titanium alloy, and Sean, the Core
Area
Lord
51,
5,000 million and two said. I'm only catching part of what he's saying over here, but
you want me to read
the
it?
metal. Yeah, please.
Anyone remember the report on the metal recovered from a spaceship? And that was Roswell. That was like tinfoil, but when you crumpled it, it went back into shape with no creases. That's 6AI4 aluminum titanium alloy, which I don't think was really popular in 1950.
Oh, well, no, 52? I
52?
just think that is a valid point, and it connects back to cookies, is that I'm like, okay, this is small beans for money. But one of the things I realized while we were researching and going through what I went through with the explosion at a time when it was the end of the Cold War, and like there was a front for, it was all tested underground, but they can research crazy technology. We're not supposed to do bioengineering on Earth, but it's okay in space.
Right.
And they can, and then Cookie just said he found out, and do send me that link on our little
I kind of wish the
Discord
Wuhan
thing,
lab
please,
was in
Cookie.
space. That would have been a lot better for everybody.
Who?
The Wuhan laboratory. If that was actually in space, we'd have been a whole lot better off.
But anyway, my point is, with technology, I realize that they're using it in ways that maybe, like, why are they? Anyway, yeah.
Oh, here's another fun conspiracy theory of mine. This is a Bad Cookies original. I think that they didn't stop cloning technology in the 2000s. I think what happened is it just went private.
Right. Well,
yeah,
I think anything with the government, when they say, oh, we were working on this and it didn't work, we give up. That's when they figured it out. That's when they put the clamps on it and say, oh, nope, nothing. What?
They didn't stop it. They just cloned the perfect horse in Venezuela. It's a story that just came out, Cookie.
How recent was this?
Yesterday. I saw it on my feed. I didn't check my resources, but they successfully cloned, and they're like high genetic materials only. And it was like, oh, I'll look it up. I'll send it to you. It was I don't know how reliable it was.
Was it like a copy of a copy where it starts degrading?
They were like, it was pure.
It was a twin. It was more of a twin than a clone.
Right.
Ooh, that's
and it was
scary.
a horse. It was a
special
it's a horse. Breeding horse.
Of course.
Which is where it came in, right? It was husbandry.
Shank's mouth must have been salivating.
Right.
Who?
Shank Huger? He's a big fan of horses.
She's not into the no. She's not a TYT fan.
Oh. She looks like she would
The
be.
Young Turks. No. Yeah,
Oh.
right. She is their target audience, but she's avoided them this long.
What's that? Oh well.
No.
Well, my whole
Oh.
conspiracy theory is that private companies have cloning technology
Mm.
and that they use it. Like, I'm more than positive Elon Musk's son is not his son. It's a clone of him.
Right.
Ugh, that's so scary.
Right.
I would do that if I had that much money. Why wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, and just
Yeah.
be like,
Why not?
yeah, I had the first one, as long as it wasn't like boys from Brazil kind of thing.
John wants to know, Cookie, you mean that wasn't a Biden clone we've been seeing?
No,
What?
Biden was a straight up CGI mask. He was nothing but a dude in a mask.
Well, and then what happened with him, like growing 4 inches? That's the
Yep.
one that really got me curious.
Ew. No, he's
What?
not into equine meat. That's not why they did it. But yeah, they did it to ride it and make a lot of money on the
So
He's
horses.
talking about
Coach-
Cenk. He's talking about Cenk, bro.
Yeah,
About what?
Cenk Uyghur.
he's
Oh.
a guy that he was defending
Well,
a
tell
man.
people. Maybe
He was
they don't
defending
know
a
too.
person's
Oh, they
right to
know.
have sex with a horse because he lives in a free
Okay,
country.
no, I'm done.
See, you
If it's about
Just read
No,
Justice
he
is
was
coming.
he's
talking
He's like-
about cloning. Okay, we're done. All right, let's see. If it's about Venezuela, people in the audience, behave.
Oh, geez. This is not NASA,
Yeah. Or not NASA, MK Ultra.
right?
It ain't
Right.
nasty in here. Oh,
Did
let's
we-
see
did-
what else I can
did-
feed you guys
did you
with.
get it
We're
all?
at 1 hour,
Right.
gentlemen.
Oh,
But I
So-
still have maybe a couple more. We talked about Frank Zappa.
well, knock him out.
Rabbits don't like cheese.
Oh, I never underestimate
Dr.
the power of
Nichols.
cheese.
Cookie dropping F-bombs. People
F-bomb.
were concerned. How's your toe feeling, bud?
Oh, it's better now.
It's a long way from your heart.
Oh, Sean, yes, you do eat plastic already. Yes, we all
right.
do. We do want to do a show maybe on the oceans, and microplastics was on that.
Right.
One thing that a big conspiracy for me that I lived through was when Google was first starting not even Google, it was geographic information systems and satellites, which has to do with this show too, like technology. And you guys didn't talk about satellites at all, but you brought that up when we first were talking. Maybe you want
The
to touch base
NASA?
with that, but just put a pin in the satellite. But when they were doing geographic information system photos, and environmental scientists were like, there is a big island the size of Texas that is made of plastic, and they didn't, you couldn't see it why didn't Google put that first? Now there's 20 of them, the Great Pacific Patch with all the plastics. They hid it from us. But why? Yeah. Why?
Well, they
Anyway.
hide. They don't
Love
just
that.
put. It's not like Google Earth is like a live camera from space where you can see what's going on. All of those photos are because they have to paint out all the military
Mhm.
bases. They have to paint out Epstein's Island, make sure they can't see anybody sunbathing out there. They got to paint out they're painting out things left and right. Anytime that there's, oh crap.
They got to airbrush Hillary Clinton's fat ass off the map.
Right. Yeah, that would be nice.
Oh, her tush is nice. It looks like Lauren Boebert's.
For a donkey. Don't you insult Lauren Boebert like that.
All right, you guys. What else we got? I don't know. Oh, talk about the satellites. You didn't.
Oh,
We went from talking about technology to
Oh, I
Hillary
jumped to
Clinton's
Mars.
ass, and I
It's
don't
my
know.
fault. I jumped us to Mars.
no, that's okay. It's real quick. We are well beyond the point. So I'll
Yeah.
just say that a lot of the satellites that we have actually end up in that exosphere. When I spoke earlier about the 5 layers of the atmosphere, the very outer one is the exosphere, and that's where most satellites and space shuttles float in. So my whole theory is, and this can actually lead us into our closing questions here, Mastermind, is what my conspiracy theory is here is that NASA isn't actually going into space. We're not actually taking space shuttle missions out into outer space. All we're doing is taking spaceships up to the exosphere or maybe a little bit below it in the thermosphere, and then they just sit there and float. And they never actually travel out into outer space where the toxic radiation will get them. So my whole theory is that the few missions that we sent to the moon were enough to let NASA know, hey, this is too expensive for us to either quote unquote land on the moon or quote unquote fake a moon landing. So we got to just make these little outer space missions that we got to take. So that way we can continue to sell these ideas to people that we're progressing into colonizing other planets and expanding the human race to other places. Even fucking Elon Musk is doing that now, where he's convincing people that, oh, in the next century we're going to colonize Mars. The whole idea is to sit there and sell you this idea so that they can continue to launder this money and start using it for other nefarious means. Like I said before, they use it for missile guidance systems or rockets for the missiles that we use. You know, all of this is just a big giant money laundering scheme that they can sit there and share money between each other. And that's my theory behind that.
Yeah, I no lies detected. And, you know, that's, we're kind of in the same spot. If we ever do go into space, you know, it's unmanned probes that, you know, we'll send to Jupiter or Venus. But yeah, if they send anything past the Van Allen belt, there can't be anything living on it. I'm with you there. And I was thinking about how, I'm sorry, I lost it. I was agreeing with you so much that I forgot what I was going to say.
Someone saw the Musk satellites when they were camping, and it was all in a row.
Yeah, I've seen those from my backyard.
And then someone was talking about microplastics and their bits, but we're not going to get into that one. Your mom's here.
Hey, Mom.
She said it was a beautiful moon, by the way, because, did everybody see the blue moon?
Yeah, we had.
Was it blue?
Wow.
I didn't know. It was just big.
It was fucking cold. I was inside sleeping.
Blue is in reference to the second full moon of a month. Once in a blue moon.
No, but it was different. This one was different. It was more than a blue moon.
It was as close as it gets, so it looked big.
Yeah, it was huge.
Closest.
It's nice.
But
so what's your solution for all of this, man?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, how Challenger, part of the reason that they wanted to wind that down, because they went to the moon and they were doing all these shuttle missions, and it's like, yeah, okay, we did that. Oh, and we can land at the ISS. What's next? Oh, next is Mars, obviously. Oh shit, we can't go to Mars. We've never been able to leave the Van Allen belt. How are we going to get out of this pickle? Well, we'll get every kid in school watching the TV. We'll tank one of the shuttles, and then we don't have to go to Mars anymore. That becomes a non-issue until Elon Musk. I know. I'm not saying I like it.
Teacher, like it was very. We all band together, and
I'm telling you, it's these people are not these.
It's messed up. Why?
Well, that literally they use that in order to start selling the rovers. Now they just send rovers out there because it's easier to just say, "Oh, look, we sent a rover out to Mars. It got there in no lifespan."
Right. Yeah. So it's. I think that we're being fed a story just so that, you know, they're justifying their own existence, and that money is going for things that we'll never know about, which is what most of the government is.
Probably
anyway.
Bioengineering.
Right.
And poisoning our water is my conclusion. I had no idea that they did that.
All right. We went over an hour. Do you have anything else? You got anything, Cookie?
Closing.
You want
he said a solution. He was going to give us a solution.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's what I get for talk. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
No, it's cool, dude. You're trying to move the show along. My solution to all of this is very simple. Scrutinize NASA as much as possible. When they sell you a story about going to space, tell them I need more proof than pictures. You can see what they do with CGI these days. You can't trust pictures anymore. And I think they did that on purpose.
You just want to go for a rocket ride, Cookie.
What I want
to prove it.
What I want is eventually to give people that dream that they've always promised them, is that maybe someday, maybe we can leave this planet and see what else is out there. But that's not going to happen in our lifetime, and it might not happen in our existence, to be honest.
Oh, that's sad.
Oh, it's what it is. But
that wasn't a solution.
That's a downer note.
Well, you know,
the solution is be more scrutiny. Like, we can't vote on anything on it.
No, we
just
can't.
Told me they make all their own laws. I
they
just
sure
told
do.
you that It poisoned the whole town I was in and exploded and leveled the town.
Well, that's because nobody scrutinizes
And they got
them.
away with it. And then they moved to northern Nevada. Then they moved to Utah and did it again. They've done it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit.
They don't.
Anyway.
Well,
but that's why,
we're
because
done.
no one's scrutinizing them. No one's going to hold them accountable. Same thing with the CIA and the
to.
FBI.
well,
I tried to hold them accountable.
that's what we're doing tonight.
Yeah.
Tell them how you feel, honey.
No,
Yeah.
this isn't the show.
Oh. Okay.
But their name is American Pacific Corp. And
Yeah.
they're jerk faces. Okay, I'm done.
All right. So real quick for this quick segment, I want to thank everyone for coming. People in the chat, everyone that we see here, I'm going to try to read off your names. And if I miss your name, please don't be insulted. It's not that I'm trying to ignore you or anything. I'm reading off this list here.
We're
You're
just,
very
of course,
thoughtful, Cookie.
we
You don't
just
forget
want to
anything.
shout out the people that actually had the cojones to stick around for the full hour. You know?
Right.
They weren't the ones that dipped in the first 5, which is like 90% of the I've been checking out the
I think we need
analytics
to-
are funny.
No. I want to look at Cookie, not us. How do we make him bigger?
Bigger. You just do that.
On this one?
You just
Oh,
showed
no.
me pictures
Sorry.
of Lauren Boebert.
That one right there. That's what he said. And then,
I'm going to stop
and then
sending
click
you
on
pictures
that
of
one
her
right
in a
there,
bikini.
Right there.
I'm done.
No, more, please.
Nope, right
please.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Oh, there you are. All right, Cookie. Tell
All
everybody
right.
welcome. Fuzzy.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming in. Cheryl Smith, our mom is here. Dr. Nick Riviera was here. Thank you,
Yeah.
Dr. Nick, for stopping in. Jacqueline's mom, you're great. You're always welcome. Thank you so much for stopping in.
Thank you, Jackie.
John Kemper was here forever. Thanks, John. And Johnny Chingas was here too. Good to see you, Johnny.
Thanks, Johnny.
Cowboy Kitty and his
Kitty.
fabulous alter egos.
Is that
Thanks a
him
lot.
right
Oh, yeah.
there?
Justice is yeah, it's Kitty too.
Gross.
Love you, man. You're fucking
Still
right.
doing
dude.
horse jokes. Don't even.
Fucking great.
Hey, beep.
Nicola Nostrum was here, of course. Thanks.
Hey, Michael.
That's the cutest bunny to ever cuss.
If you guys get a chance, be sure to check out Michael and Abby Doo's show.
You bet.
And of course, Mastermind is also on a show with Abby Doo. Be sure to check them out. Salty's Digital Dive was here.
Salty.
Sean the Accord Lord Miller.
You bet.
And Snorky was here. Snork
Snork.
Y2K.
He fell asleep and he just woke up, but I'm sure he'll watch the replay.
But I wanted to give you guys one quick thanks for stopping in. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you all. You make it all worth. We spend very little time, but we do spend a little time researching this, and so it's worth it to see that at least there's a dozen people stick around and listen to us ramble about it anyway.
They like us.
And
It's all right.
and true word. Are we
Still
done?
Cookie? No.
Oh,
No.
sorry. Oh, awesome.
He's
Sorry.
going to tell us a little bit more.
Oh, good.
Oh, I'm supposed to tell you about next week's show, hey?
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh, dude,
Still
I cannot wait for this show. It's DARPA and nanotechnology, how they keep it from us and how it is used against us. I'm telling you, this is going to be an exciting topic, man.
I've never heard of DARPA before Cookie and Mastermind. You guys opened my eyes to MK Ultra, and I really, really. I went on the History Channel and I found a show on them about them brainwashing and doing the chip and stuff, and I started crying. I'm like, I don't want to do this show either.
Oh, crap. I missed Old Man Miller.
Fine. Oh,
Oh,
man.
Sorry, old man.
Oh, man,
Old man was
here.
here.
It's all right.
You bet. Oh, he's still here. Right on.
But
Oh.
what else we got? Just like us and subscribe. And,
Right.
Yeah.
Like me. You really, really like me. Sally's.
oh, do we
Sounds
have
good.
something to play at the end?
Yes.
Mastermind?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, you guys.
Because we had 17 of you sticking around here.
Yeah, we got
We've
something
got
fun.
a little musical outro for you, and we will see you all
Bye.
next week.
Bye, everyone.
Let's see if I can make this play.
Are we muted?
Ground control to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom. Take your protein pills and put your helmet on. Ground control to Major Tom. 7, 6. Commencing countdown, engines on. 3, 2. Check ignition and may God's love be with you. This is ground control to Major Tom. You've really made the grade. And the papers want to know whose shirts you wear. Now it's time to leave the capsule if you dare. This is Major Tom to ground control. I'm stepping through the door. And I'm floating in a most peculiar way. And the stars look very different today. For here am I sitting in a tin can, far above the world. Planet Earth is blue and there's nothing I can do. Oh, I'm past 100,000 miles. I'm feeling very scared. And I think my spaceship knows which way to go. Tell my wife I love her very much. She knows. Ground control to Major Tom. Your circuit's dead. There's something wrong. Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear? Am I floating on my tin can? Planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do.